Hey guys, you're watching QDCrafts. I hope you're all doing okay. It's been a while since my last video and I actually haven't left my house since I moved out of my university campus. During this whole time I've been working on school projects, studying for exams, and I'm finally done all of that and I'm officially finished undergrad, which means I'm going to be graduating with the rest of the class of 2020 and getting my Bachelor of Science degree. Now that I have some time, I really want to jump back to working on bead projects, but I need a bit of a refresher since I haven't touched beads in so long. So to help me with that, I got this Artkal soft fused beads kit that they gave me the last time I visited them, so thank you, Artkal. And this one is Journey to the West themed. If you don't know what Journey to the West is, it's a very famous classic Chinese story. It's been produced into cartoons like this one, which was my favorite one that I watched when I was little. Although I didn't really understand what they were talking about, it was pretty cool to watch all their fights. And there's also live action adaptations like this one, which is just slightly terrifying, but still a really classic story. And whether you know it or not, these sprites do look pretty cute. You see the little monkey with all his friends. The main reason why I wanted to try this kit was because it has soft beads. I've never tried Artkal's soft beads before. I've never actually tried any kits before. And by the looks of it, these soft beads, they can bend a lot. Usually hard beads, if you try to bend them, they'll just snap in half. But these soft beads look pretty flexible, so I'm excited to see how these turn out and what the difference is between soft beads and hard beads. Here's a look at the front of the box and the back with all of the instructions. It comes with 2,000 soft midi beads that are separated into 2 bags, an instruction sheet for ironing, 2 ironing papers, and a clear midi bead pegboard. There's also the template for the Journey to the West characters that I can put the pegboard on top of so that I know exactly where to place each of the beads. And also some accessories like these tweezers to help pick up the beads and some keychain straps. I'm not really used to picking out different colors for my projects since all of my beads are usually sorted by color so that I can just grab exactly what color I need. This one I have to kind of sift through all of the mixed up colors, and with the help of the template I just followed exactly what it showed me and placed all of the beads in the right positions. This was the first time I used a template underneath clear pegboards to help me make bead sprites. Usually when I have a design on the computer, I can just copy it directly onto the pegboard by counting exactly how many beads I need. And with the help of a template, it makes the process much faster because you know exactly where you need to put them and you don't have to worry about counting the number of beads. Placing a template underneath clear pegboards is definitely a great tool for beginner beaders or younger beaders, or just anybody who doesn't want to spend so much time counting and figuring out the position of the beads, just for anybody who wants to follow along and make a bead sprite quickly. By the way, the soft beads I'm using here feel and look pretty much the same as hard beads, but according to Artkal's website, they say that soft beads are slightly thicker than the hard beads and they're made of an EVA food grade plastic. I couldn't really notice the difference, but I think we'll start to see it after we iron. I'm going to try ironing with the Artkal mini iron that they also gave me. It's a very light and small travel iron, but the thing with this is that the plug is for Chinese outlets, so they also gave me this international adapter so that it can work on my Canadian outlets. Following the instructions for the iron, I turned the heat setting all the way to max for midi beads. The iron heated up pretty quickly, less than 30 seconds, and I put the ironing paper on top of the horse and just ironed in circular motions until each of the beads is seen through the paper, like there's an imprint of it on the parchment paper. This took just over a minute, and once one side was completely fused, I flipped it over to the other side and did the exact same thing. Once both sides were completely fused, I got a heavy book to keep it flat while it cooled. I wanted to see how different the soft beads were when they were still a little bit warm, and here I did a bend test to see how much it would bend, and while it's still just a bit warm, it bends quite a bit. I think hard beads can probably do that too when it's really hot. I've seen people bend hard beads when they are just ironed, but this one was almost done cooling and could bend a lot. But we'll see what happens when it's completely cooled down. For the larger and more complicated designs, I use the tape method so that I can take the sprite off of the pegboard before I start ironing. Some of you guys have told me that you have trouble with ironing techniques and the tape method, so I'm planning to make an updated ironing video. But for now, here's how I do the masking tape method. I try my best not to ever lift the tape once it has been placed down. Think of it like putting up a 3M hook. Once you put it on the wall, you can't change it, you can't take it off. Just place it where it is. If you missed a spot, just get some more tape and cover that up later. But once you place the tape down, don't ever lift it up, because that's where it could possibly move some beads and ruin the whole project. The tape I'm using here is painter's tape. You can use masking tape, just any tape that is not too sticky, like duct tape. Don't use duct tape. Just get some really light sticky tape, and once everything is covered, that's when you can move it. Just flip the whole board over, and if the tape is still stuck onto the board a little bit, just slowly and gently pry it off, and the whole project should come off nicely. Now this is ready to be ironed, and just like the last one, I placed the ironing paper on top and used my mini iron in circular motions to fuse all of the beads until I see an imprint of each of the beads on the paper. On the other side, I carefully peeled off the painter's tape, and I'm going to save this for the other characters because it's still sticky and there's no need to waste that good tape, especially when the other characters are around the same size. This pig, well, his name is actually 猪八戒. He bends pretty well when there's still a little bit of heat left in the beads. Don't worry, I will show you what it's like when it is completely cooled down, and I feel like I should definitely do a proper comparison video of hard beads versus soft beads. This video is just me trying out a kit and doing the soft beads for the first time, but I do have some soft mini beads that I want to try out, and if you guys are interested in seeing a more thorough soft versus hard beads, please let me know in the comments below. Here I'm using the same pieces of tape that I used for 猪八戒, and you can see I'm carefully making sure that the tape goes straight onto the beads and doesn't lift up at any point. And then I added an extra piece for the remaining parts. Flip this guy over. His name is Sha He Shang, if I remember correctly, and then iron him just like I did for the others. The more I started to bend these sprites, I was getting more curious about what would happen if I bent them at different heat levels. So this is when it is burning hot, like just ironed, and it should be placed under something heavy to be flattened, but I wanted to see what it would be like to bend him and just see how much a hot bead sprite can bend. Please don't try this at home, especially if you're younger. Your skin is still like fresh baby skin, so don't burn your fingers. My fingers have been used to the heat, so I was careful with bending this. And again, this is my first time ever doing this to one of my sprites, so let me know if you've ever had experience bending regular beads and if this looks like it's any different. Last but not least, here's the Monkey King Sun Wukong and the monk Tang Seng, who has to put up with him all the time. Here I'm using the same pieces of tape that was used in the last character, and you can see that it retains its stickiness and can be used multiple times, so keep that in mind if you want to save up on your tape and reduce waste. After making 4 characters, this tape is still pretty good, so I'm just going to stick it under my table and see if I can still use it for another project. These sprites are now completely cooled for a long time, and you can see that the bendiness is reduced a lot, but it's still able to be bent like that. It's still pretty flexible. I am terrified of snapping this horse in half, but it holds up pretty well and it is bending a lot just like it said it would. The one question I have is, why do you need to bend these sprites? Well, I guess with these sprites, like I would just keep them as flat, but if you want that curved look, you can bend them while they're still warm so that they can keep a hard shape after, but you can do that with hard beads, right? So I'm not sure what exactly the purpose of soft beads is. Why would you need to bend them this much? Maybe if you guys have any ideas of why or how you can use soft beads, then please let me know. I guess if you have a curved sprite, you can turn it into like decoration or jewelry, but I'm not sure what else you could do with it. I also came in with this expectation that it would be super soft, like when you bend it would be really easy to bend, but you still have to put quite a bit of force to get it to bend like this. And compared with a hard bead sprite like this atom that I made a long time ago, this can still bend a little bit, although you can hear a bit of cracking once I started to bend it a bit too much. I hear cracking. Now that I can compare the footage, I definitely see that the soft beads bend a lot more than the hard beads, and they do have some elastic properties because they can return to their original shape. They can go back to being flat after you bend it that much. Overall, using soft beads to make these sprites still creates a pretty sturdy, hard sprite that will not break easily, but it just has this added component that is just slightly different from the usual hard beads, and that is being able to bend like this. I think this is a pretty unique and interesting concept that I would love to explore some more, so next time I'll bring out my soft mini beads and test those out. Thanks so much for making it to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed watching me play with these Artkal soft beads. They are so bendy, which kind of scares me because I don't want to break this guy. Okay, he's back to normal now. If you have any suggestions of what you want to see on this channel, make sure to leave a comment down below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on that notification bell, and I will see you guys next time with another cutie craft. Bye!